everything about you. Everything about you.
Everybody, and welcome to Zenfolio Live. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success. Thanks for joining us here today on the live stream. Today we're going to be talking about using the built-in client proofing for your senior portrait. So this is going to be a way to let you do online proofing. We're going to talk about the benefits of proofing, why you should do client proofing. I'm going to show you how to go in, turn that option on in your account. Then I'm going to show you how the clients can use that, and then how to find and view the client selections after they've selected their photos. Now, don't forget the June light themed photo contest is underway. You can, if you haven't submitted your photo yet, you can do that. The link to join the photo contest is in the description below the video. It says June photo contest or something like that. And here in a little bit, I'm going to be showing you guys the top 10 images, the current top 10 images in the photo contest. So I'm going to show you guys the current 10 images that had the most vote. If you're not familiar with the photo contest, if this is your first time hearing about it, go down, check out that link. You submit one photo. It's got to be a light themed photo. It's open to your artistic interpretation. Submit that. And then at the end of the month, we're going to take the 10 photos with the most votes, and those are going to go to our judge, and our judge is going to select the winner. So it's not just enough to submit your photo. You need to make sure that you're sharing that share link out to your social media accounts and getting people to vote for your photo so that you can get in that top 10 that go before the judge. We've got TE England already talking to us there in chat. Craigslist saying aloha. Heather hanging out with us. Hey, Heather, thanks for jumping on here and hanging out with us week after week. Hey, if you guys are just now joining us, make sure you say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're from. We love to hear where you guys are from. And if this is your first time hanging out on a live stream, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because we do the live streams every single week. And as always, I've got Richard hanging out, taking care of you guys in the chat, answering your questions. So make sure that you show him some love in the chat. Let's go ahead and jump into today's topic. So today what we're talking about is using the built-in feature, or the built-in proofing feature for your senior portraits. So first I want to talk a little bit about client proofing. Like, what is client proofing? If you're not familiar with it, what are the benefits? Well, back in the day, we used to have to print out proof books to take to our clients back in the film days. Honestly, I've never done that, but I've heard of people that did do that. That was a little bit before I got into photography. But back in that day, they used to have to print out proof books after you did a session. You'd take it to your client. They would go through and they would pick out the photos that they wanted to then have you blow up into larger prints. Now with websites and online options, it's easier than ever to have your clients proof it. It's much more affordable. So what proofing is you go do a shoot, you come back, and rather than spending time editing every single image from that shoot, you're going to upload all of your photos and go through and let your clients choose the ones that they like. And then those would be the ones where you would do more detail editing and getting them fixed up to be printed. Now, I'd never upload my images right out of camera for like a senior portrait session. Usually I'll do some general color correction, some exposure correction, but I don't spend a lot of time until the clients have indicated this is a photo that I like, I want to purchase this photo. And sometimes they'll even send along special edit requests. All of this stuff you can do with Zenfolio's built-in favorites feature. So, and the other thing too is it's a nice way to incorporate your client and let them be part of the whole process. So including them in the image selection. This is something you guys could sit down and do together. It's something they could just go online and do, but it's a good way to make them like feel like they're a part of that process more than just out, being outside of the shoot, keeping them involved in that process. Online proofing is a good way to do that. So how do you allow your clients to proof online? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. So here we are in my Zenfolio account. And what we're going to do first is just navigate down to a gallery. So we're going to go down here to this seniors gallery, and I'm just going to click on it. And the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the favorites feature enabled on your site. I think by default, whenever you create an account, this is enabled for you, but you can turn it off. You just want to make sure that you have it enabled if you want to do client proofing online. So I've clicked on this gallery, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this preview and open that in a new tab. Now I'm doing that because I like to work in multiple tabs. There's always something that I have to come back and reference in this view, especially when I'm working in customized view. So I've just opened that up in a new tab. We're going to jump over to that new tab, and then we're going to go into edit view, and I'll show you how to turn on that proofing feature. So here in your gallery, you're going to hover over edit, and then just click on options right here, click on page options, and this is going to let you edit that page. Now I'm going to get out of page options because first what we want to do is we want to go down to, let me hide that 1 second here. Sorry guys. Give me 1 second. Let me get this thing hidden out of there. There we go. Sorry, that was in my way. I didn't mean to stop there a second. Okay. So we're gonna go into this gallery, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on that client proofing feature. So in order to do that, you need to go down to site settings down here in the bottom left corner. And then you're going to go to the favorites tab right here. And then you want to just make sure that this is checked to allow your visitors to add favorites. And this is Zenfolio's built-in proofing feature. Now, there are a couple of additional options you might want to look at right here. So one of them, and let me zoom in here so you guys can see this a little bit better. One of them is the option to let your clients share the favorites with you. That's probably an option that you're going to want to keep turned on, and I'll talk more about that here in a second. The other option is to let your visitors share favorites with others. So this is an option you can turn on or off depending on what you want. And what that does is that will let a client share out a set of favorites to an email, and it'll go to somebody. Why is that important to know? Because that's going to give people access to those favorites in there. And so it's just an option that you should keep in mind when you're doing this and setting this up to make sure that you want people to be able to do that option. I'm going to leave both of these turned on because I want to show you how both of these work. But personally, on my personal account, I have this option turned off most of the time. All right, let me get back here. Let me just zoom back out. And so after you've got that option checked and turned on, we're going to come down here to the bottom and click apply right here in the bottom right corner. and that is going to enable the favorites. So now after you've done that, there's another step that you need to take to make sure that that option is available to your clients. And that's going to be under options in the gallery. So you're going to go under options and you're going to go uncheck use default right here, go to thumbnails, and then you just want to make sure that the add to favorites icon is set to show. And what that's going to do is that's going to have the little heart icon that shows when a client hovers over a photo, and that is how they add that to their favorites. So now if I hover over one of these photos, you can see that little heart icon starts to pop up. That's what a client clicks when they've decided, hey, this is a photo that I want to add to my favorites. Maybe this is a photo that I'm potentially interested in ordering. That is how they indicate that. Now, another thing that you might think about is you might think about when your clients are proofing these photos, when they're looking through these, they're probably going to want to look at them a little larger than just the thumbnail images. All right. And so what I personally do, if I'm just offering that gallery to be proofed right now, I'll make sure that that gallery doesn't have a price list on it. And so in order to do that, you need to jump back into edit view really quick and then go to that gallery, which is right here, and just make sure that the price list is turned off. And the reason that you want to do that is because when a price list is applied to a gallery and a client clicks on a photo, it's going to take them into your elected buying experience, whether that's Quick Shop or whether that's the shop pages. And we don't really want that experience happening right now because this is really just for proofing. So we want to enable an option that will actually let the client see the photo larger. And so I have that printing option turned off for this gallery for right now. And so let's jump back into that customize view. And I'm going to show you why I did that. Because if we go to options and we go to thumbnail page tab right here, there are two options down here. And this is what happens when the thumbnails are clicked. Now, when the thumbnails are clicked, you can have it open to a photo page, which looks like this. And it's not a bad option, but I would still want my client to see these photos just a little bit larger. I want them to be able to compare easy. I want them to see it a little bit larger. And so I'm going to go back up here to options. We're going to go to the thumbnails page tab, and we're just going to say open in dim the lights right here. So we're going to say open in dim the lights. We're going to click on that, and then we're going to hit the apply button right here. Apply that. And now let me show you the difference between what you just saw and what happens with dim the lights. So now in dim the lights mode, your client can click on this and it brings up the image, it dims the background out, and they can also navigate with their keyboard. So they can just go back and forth through the images like this on their keyboard. All right. One more step that you want to take to get this gallery ready for proofing is you want to make sure that in that dim the lights mode, they also still have the option to add that photo to their favorite set. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to options. And then when you enable dim the lights, this little dim the lights tab pops up right here behind my head. So if I turn it off, that tab goes away. If I enable it, that tab pops up. You're going to click on that tab, and then what you're going to do is you're going to set that photo toolbar right here to show. Don't leave it same as photo page because we're not using the photo page. We're going to set it to show, and then personally, I like setting my toolbar style to be buttons, and I'll show you what that is. So let's set that to buttons, and then let's go down to the bottom and click apply. And guys, if you have questions as I'm going through this, anything that you have questions about along the way, make sure that you get those thrown out in the chat. Make sure that you get those thrown out on in the chat there for me, and I will get those answered for you guys live. All right. So now that we've turned on that button for the dim the lights mode, now if the client clicks on a photo, now they have the add to favorites option right here. And then they can close out right here. So the next step is going to be, if this is how you want all of your galleries to work when you don't have a price list on it. So the moment you apply a price list, this is going to function differently. It's going to go to the quick shop page or to the shopping page. But if this is how you want all of your galleries to function when they don't have a price list on it, when you're doing client proofing, you want to go up here and you want to click Save as Default, like this. And then what you're going to want to do next, and when you click Save as Default, that's going to make that your default settings for all of your galleries that are using the default settings. And then you're just going to hit that Publish button right up here in the top right corner to actually make those changes live. All right. And so now those changes are live, and this gallery is set up and ready for a client to come in, to check out, to proof the photos, let me know which ones they want. And then that way I can get those photos downloaded, do any editing they ask for, and get them back uploaded into the gallery or into Zenfolio ready to be purchased. So let me take you through the client experience for proofing photos. And in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to open up this gallery in an incognito window so you can actually see it like a client does. So I'm just going to go up here to the top, and I'm going to copy this URL right here. Now it's important to copy the correct URL. If the URL says zenfolio.com in front of it, that's the wrong URL. So you don't want to copy the URL that's inside of Edit View. You either want to go to Access and then go to Sharing and get the URL here. Or if you're previewing that gallery like I'm doing here, you can copy this URL right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up a new incognito window here in Google Chrome, and I'm going to just paste that URL in, hit enter, and that's going to take me right to that gallery. But now we're seeing this logged out of Zenfolio like an actual client would see it. And so then the process for a client to proof their photos is they're going to come through here and they're going to pick the ones that they like. So they're going to go right here. They're going to jump down here and say, oh, I like this one. And they click that heart icon. Now, the first time they click that, it's going to prompt them to either create or log into their existing client account. And the reason that happens is because when they don't have a client account, they don't have a place to save favorites. And so they have to either create a client account or log into one that they've already created with you in order to save their favorite set. So I'm going to hit continue. That's going to take me to the next screen, which is where if they have an account, they can go ahead and log in, or if they don't have one, they can go right over here and create. So I'm going to go ahead and just log in here really quick. If I can do it really quick. And then let's see if I can get the password right. And we're just going to log in really quick. And when I do that, it's instantly going to add that photo that I've selected. And let me just zoom in so you guys can see that. It'll instantly add that photo that I've selected right into a favorite set called My Selection. Now, your clients can have more than one favorite set. They can go to different galleries. They can create different favorite sets. We'll talk about that on another live stream. Maybe I'll make a client video for you guys to share out with your clients. Right now, this is just going into the default favorite set, which is My Selection. And so the client can come down here and they can see which photo they've selected because that heart icon stays there. They can click on some more if they want. If they want to view it full screen where they can really compare back and forth the images, they just click right on this. Then they can use their keyboard, navigate back and forth through these images, hit the Add Favorites button, just like this. If they want to remove it from their favorites, they can do it right here, or they can also do it back here on the thumbnail screen just by doing this. And so that's how they add or select images from their favorite set. Now, the second that your clients select a favorite set, that information is actually not a favorite set, sorry. The second that your clients select a favorite image, that information is actually shared back to you instantly as the photographer. You don't get a notification when they do that, but you can view their favorites. So let me show you where that's at really quick. So if I jump back into my Zenfolio account here, and if I come up here and I go to favorites, and then there are different favorite types. There are shared favorites, and those favorites are ones that your clients have actually gone through the process of sharing back to you. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. But there are also other favorites right here. And so we can actually click on those other favorites. And let me just zoom in again so you guys can see that a little bit better. Zoom back out. That makes it weird. There we go. So other favorites are ones that your clients have selected. They just haven't shared it back out with you yet. And you can actually sort by the title. You can sort by who it's from. You can sort by how many photos. You can sort by when it was created. And then you can sort by when it's modified. And so you can actually click on these and you can actually go in here and see. And that's the wrong one. Let me grab the other set really quick. So if I had sorted by date modified, I would have had the right one up top. So here are those favorites that I selected earlier right here. Now at this point, as the photographer, you can come in here and you can download these photos. You can export these if you want to like export them out to Lightroom. There's a plugin that you need to download. You do need to have the advanced account for that export to Lightroom plugin for this option to work. But you do have the option to download. You can export these, email them. You can create a gallery. As long as the favorite sets have less than 100 images, you can create a gallery from them, or you can create a collection if they have over 100 images. I'm interested in downloading these because obviously these are images that the client said, hey, these are the ones I like. I'm going to be doing some extra editing to these, and so I'm going to download that set. Okay, so that's how it works when your clients don't share the favorite set with you. You can still view it. You can view it instantly right there in your account. But if the client actually goes through the process of sharing the favorite set with you, and let me show you how they do that. So let's say that they finished selecting their photos. Let's close this one. Let's go down here. Let's grab a couple more really quick. All right, and then we're going to close that out. And then we're going to go up to the top. And what they need to do to actually share these out with you is they need to come right up here, hover over their selection, and then they can go to my selection right here. Now from here, they can remove options from here. They can view them larger. They just click on it. They can view them larger. They can navigate with their mouse key. They can hover over and hit the X. They can view the image. They can open it up in the gallery. They can remove it. Let me get my head out of the way here. So lots of different options in here. But what we're talking about in here is the sharing option. So this option, when your clients do this, they actually have the option of giving you a message, maybe making an editing request or something like that. They can go right here to share favorites. And here are those two options that we were talking about earlier, guys. So here is the option to share it just with me, the photographer. And so all I have to do is come in here and say, senior selections, whatever I want to put in here. If I want to add a note like, thanks for the fun session, can I get these in black and white? Your client could do something like that, and then they hit share. And when they do that, you, the photographer, are going to get an email. You're going to get an email notification, and then you're also going to get a notification in your account. And so if we go over here, and if I refresh this window right here, there's a little notification right here next to photos. And that lets me know that there's a new favorite set. And so if I click on that, it's going to take me right here. And then right here, there's the title, Senior Selections, and then the message. These are great. Can I get these in black and white? And then I can click on these. And then I have the same options that I had with the other set of downloading them, exporting them. And then if you're in here and you're like, oh, I wonder what that note was again. If you hover over the info icon, that little message shows up right here as well. And so when they share that set with you, you actually get the notification in your account. And that's how that works. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show you guys is that share with a friend option really quick. So we're just going to go back up here, back to the share favorites. And then here is that share to a friend. And basically the way the share to a friend works is they have two options. They can share it as a set that people can edit. So if they share it using this, then the people that they share that favorite set link with can actually go in, change photos. So it's a good way to allow collaboration. Maybe you're not using this for senior sessions. Maybe you're using this for some corporate clients or a magazine, and you've got a lot of different editors that are working on the same project, and they're going back and forth and trying to decide on images. They can use a favorite set, and then they can share that customizable version, and then other people can go in and change photos, remove photos, and options like that. Or the client can just share it out as a read only. So maybe the senior has selected her favorite photos, but she needs to okay it with mom on these are the ones that she selected. She could copy that link and send it over to mom, and mom could quickly browse her selections. So there's lots of options here. Again, this one is one that you can disable if you want. You don't have to let them have this option if you don't want them to. However, I would really recommend leaving the share to photographer set on here. All right. And so that is how that shared favorite set works. So again, and then as the photographer, you have the option to download the photos in that favorite set. So if you're going to download them, you can go right into that favorite set and then go to the selections and then hit the download button right here. And you can download those as a zip file, do whatever editing you want, and then re-upload them in a new gallery and send that out to the client with a price list. They're all good to go and ready to be purchased. All right, guys, so that is how that proofing feature works. It's built into your account. Make sure that you go check it out, play with it, get familiar with it. And it's a really useful feature, especially when you are not uploading or not editing everything before you upload it, and you want to let clients go through and indicate which photos they're interested in. Using that favorites feature is going to save you a lot of time from having to go back and forth with the client. You can let them just say, hey, these are the ones that I want edited, and then you can edit just those ones. All right, go ahead and get your questions in the chat, guys. Really quick, I'm going to show you guys the top 10 images, from the current top 10 images from the photo contest, and then we'll be right back. I'm going to answer some email questions, and if you guys have any questions in chat, we're going to get those questions answered as well. But right now, here are the current top 10 images in the June photo contest. All right, there are some absolutely beautiful photos. If you guys haven't just gone through and browsed that gallery, if you go down to the description below the video, and I'm pretty sure that Richard threw out the link in the chat. If you go down and check out that link, it says June Photo Contest. You can actually, up at the top, there's an enter or a vote option. If you click on vote, you can actually just go through and browse the photos. And if you want to vote for people, you can go ahead and vote for them there in the top there. So go check that out. Let me just go ahead and grab a couple of email questions. Hey, if you're watching the recorded version of this, I'd love to have you come hang out with us on a live stream, but I know not everybody can just stop what they're doing and jump on YouTube on a Thursday, which is why I appreciate those of you guys who are hanging out with me today. Josh Hartman, Kess Photography, Heather, TE England, Craigslist, and everybody who usually is jumping on here hanging out with me live. I really appreciate those of you guys who do. But those of you guys who are watching the recorded version, if you have a question that you would like for me to answer the following week, there's a link below this video in the description that says questions for next week. You can click on that, send a question in, and I will answer it on the following live stream, which is what I'm about to do right now. All right, let's see. Can you show me how to create my own default emails? Absolutely, guys. So Zenfolio has built-in email templates, and there's a lot of different places where you can use these email templates. So anytime you go to like send out a gallery invite or you're sending somebody an email, that's actually pulling from a Zenfolio email template. And we have a lot of built-in default ones, but you can actually create your own. So let me show you really quick an instance of a template. So if I were to upload this gallery, and then let's say that, let me get myself out of the way here. I uploaded this gallery, and then I want to go and email this out to a client. So I go up here to email gallery. Well, that's pulling from this email template gallery invite. But let's say that there is something very specific that I like to always include in the invite. There's some very specific things that I like to say, and it gets a little old having to customize that email down here at the bottom each and every time I do it. Well, you can actually create your own email templates, and when you create them and save them, they'll actually be available in this drop-down list right here. So rather than having to go down here each and every time you're sending out an email, you can actually just pull a new template in from this email list right here. So you can click on this, and I've already have some that are created, so I'm going to show you how it works here. But then I'm going to go back and show you where you need to go and how you can create your own templates. So we're just going to grab one really quick. Let's do the holiday re-release. I have no idea what that said, but if you'll notice, it completely changed this text that's down here. All right, so it completely changes it. If I put in links or email variables, it will add them all down here in the message body as well as the subject line right here. So email templates change your subject line and they change the email body text. The one thing they won't change is the recipients. That's a totally separate thing that you control right here. So again, just to show you one more time, see what the email looks like right here. And then if we go up here and we choose a different email template, it's going to change that subject line, and then it's going to change that message text. Well, how do you create these email templates? Where do you go to get those put in so that they're accessible from that drop-down list? Well, let me show you. So we're going to hit cancel. And then what we're going to do is we're going to jump into communications right here, and we're going to go to email communications. And this is where you can go to view the default templates that are already in place for you. So they are right here. You can come through here, view any of these templates. If you want to see what the default gallery invite says or what that default template looks like, you can hit customize and you can actually view it right here. Now, I would recommend learning a little bit first and playing around and creating your own custom templates before you go in and alter any of the default templates. I would really recommend learning about how the variables work, what variables you can use and where, before you come in and alter these default templates. If you want to go in here and use these default templates kind of as something to build on, you can do that, which is exactly what I'm going to do right here. So what we're going to do is, let's just say that we want to set up a new, I don't know, maybe we want to set up a new gallery invite, or let's do a group invite. Maybe we want to set up a new group invite. So this is when you're inviting somebody to a group page. So what I'm going to do is go to customize, and inside of here, it has the default group invite template, which already has these really useful email variables. And I'm going to show you where you can see a list of those variables, where you can see what those variables can be used for here in just a second. But let's say we want to create one for use with maybe a wedding group. So maybe we're sending out invites through a group for our weddings, because instead of all the photos being in one gallery, we have them separated into a ceremony, a reception gallery, to make it easier for the client to view. And in that case, you're going to be sending an email invite out at the group level. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click in here, hit Command A on my keyboard, Command C. We're going to copy this, and then I'm just going to go down to the bottom and click this Create New Template right here. And then what I'll do is the template name, let's call this Wedding Group Invite. And then we're just going to paste in that message text here. Now, I'm going to just put some filler text in the subject line because I want to go back. I'm going to click Save. I want to go back and grab the subject line text from the default group invite, again, because I'm after these email variables that are already in here. And so I'm going to copy this, hit cancel. We're going to go back down. Here is that wedding group invite template. We're just going to click on it to edit it. I'm going to go to the subject line and then paste it in here. And so now maybe what I want to do is, now maybe I know that I always name my wedding groups. Whenever I create a wedding group, maybe I always name it the last name of the couple getting married, or the last name of the couple getting married. So I could say you're invited to view, could say take a look at the Smith, and so maybe their name's Smith, that would say Smith, and then I could say wedding photos. And so that email variable is going to input whatever group I'm sending this email invite from. It's going to take that group name and input it into the subject line for me. And then I could go down here and change up some of these as well. Now, if you really want to get in here and customize it, that is when you need to know what variables are available for me. Where can I use these? What emails can I use them for? That's what this little link right here is for. It says view list of available variables. And if you click on that, it's going to open up in a new tab. Let me go back. It's going to open up in a new tab, a support article where it's going to show you all of the variables that you can use in your emails. And most important part, what emails you can use them in. Because Zenfolio has groups and galleries. And if you're sending an email invite from a group, a gallery link or gallery name email variable is not going to work. So when you're customizing these email templates and you're like, oh, this one would be good, I could use this, make sure that you read the description over here, because it will tell you will only work in group invites or group expiration emails. It will tell you over here what type of emails you can use these variables for. So make sure that you pay close attention to that part of it. All right, so we're just going to jump back over. I'm not going to do too much customizing to this one. I just want to save it. And then down here at the bottom, we're going to click save. And now we have that new wedding group invite. So now if I go back to photos, and if we go to a group right here, so let's just go to weddings. We go to weddings, not that I would ever send anybody to that group, but just to show you, and we go email group. We could go right here, and you see it's using the default group invite. Well, I could click here and say, let's use that wedding group invite that I just created. And now you can see right here, it says, take a look at the wedding photos, because the title of this group was weddings. So that didn't work out very well, but you guys get the picture of how this works. All right, and then it would update the message body. I'd put the email in here and then get this to, usually I schedule my emails, so I never send them right at the time I'm creating them. Usually I'm using the scheduling option right here. But I would put the email address in here, hit continue to preview, and get that scheduled out. So that is how you can set up your own custom email templates. It is really useful, guys. If you email your gallery links out, which I definitely recommend using our gallery email feature just for the scheduling option alone. If you're using that and you're always going in and customizing those messages that you're sending out, definitely go in and check out those email templates to where you can create your own. Again, I would create a couple, do some trials and errors, create your own before you start modifying the defaults, because you want to have those defaults in there in case you really mess it up, that you can jump back to that default and make sure that you're getting the information that you need. Great question though. All right, let me see. I think I might have a chat question here. It says, let's see. Heather says, I have to figure out how a repeat client can create multiple favorite lists instead of all in one. They log into their account. Once a favorite set has been shared with the photographer, the next time they create the favorite set, they will see a dialogue informing them and asking them if they want to start a new set or use the original. Let's see. So this current set, which is used to create issues, create a new set. This is my selection, which has a very long. Interesting. Let's see. Craigslist says that makes it sound like you have messed it up before. Absolutely. I've played around with those email templates and broke some stuff and had to go and get the default ones back. Trying to answer Heather's question here really quick. So your clients can definitely create new sets. If I go to that, let's go back to that senior gallery really quick, and then let's just grab that link and I'll kind of show you how that works. So let's go to sharing. We're going to just copy this link, file, new incognito window, paste it in. And then as a client, when I hit this favorites button, I'll say continue. And then I just have to log in and get logged in here. And now it says right here, the current set of favorites, Photo Seniors, has already been shared with the photographer, blah, blah, blah. You can continue adding to this set. Or you can go right here and create a new set right here. So you can go in here and create a new set. So you can just go right here and say, hopefully I'm answering your question, Heather. I don't know if I'm answering it correctly or not. But they can just go in here and say, okay, favorites round 2. And they add that photo. So now up here at the top, if I hover over this, I can see both lists. So right now I am editing favorites round 2, but if I wanted to switch to my seniors list, I could. Now I don't know if I can add, let's see, continue. I can, so I can continue to add photos to this. Add photos, add photos. And if I get tired of that showing up, I can choose this do not show again option, and then we can just keep adding photos. But if they need to create another list, like maybe they need to create separate lists from the same gallery. Maybe they need to pick some for prints. Maybe they need to pick some for books. In that case, what they would want to do is manually come up here, right? And they can just manually hover over this and say add new set. And then they could say, okay, these are for selects for album. And then now there's a new favorite set, selects for albums. And I can just go and start adding to there. So now this account has 3 sets of favorites that I can view right here. Hopefully that kind of answers your question, Heather. I'm not sure. Hopefully I got pretty close. Let's see. Kess Photography says, is there going to be a July photo contest? That is TBD right at the moment. So we're talking about that. I will let you guys know fairly soon. So just make sure that you come back next week. Maybe I'll have a definite answer next week. Hopefully I should have a definite answer by next week. And we'll let you know that. So yeah, come back next week for sure. Let's see. Tim says, when you do a scheduled email blast, let's say at 3:30 a.m., does that get mailed from Zenfolio or my office computer? Specifically, do I have to leave my machine on? So Tim, that's going to be through Zenfolio and our servers. Now the emails, when it goes out to your clients, they're going to look, if they reply to it, it's going to go back to your email, but you don't have to leave your machine on. All of that's going to be handled for you. So you can shut your computer down, give it a break, go to bed. All of those emails are going to go out for you because it's handled in the Zenfolio servers and all of that. So just make sure that you have it scheduled for the right time, shut your computer down, and everything should be good to go. And if you want to double check that, you can always set up, and I'll show you this really quick. You can always, let me just go to email@email.com. But you can always, down at the bottom, if you scroll down to the bottom of the section there, you can select the option to send a copy of this message to your email. So that way, if you want to get that email at 3:30 in the morning just to make sure it went through, you can get that email. You can go and check it on your phone. A word of caution, if you're using Zenfolio events and you have 500 people in your participants list, do not check the option to send yourself a copy, or it will send you a copy of every single email that gets sent out. So if you are a volume photographer, or if you just use a Zenfolio event to be able to do the batch emailing out, do not click send me a copy of the message, or you will get a copy of every single message from that participants list. Good thing to note, that happened to me once, and I spent all day deleting emails. It was quite frustrating. All right. Let's see. Great questions today, though, guys. Make sure you get your questions in the chat. I'm going to jump back and grab an email question really quick, but make sure you get those questions in the chat. Let me grab another email question. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Can I set up an automated email thanking people for visiting my gallery? Absolutely, you can. Zenfolio has a feature called triggered emails, and I think I talked about this a little bit last week, but I've had a couple of people ask me this and somebody emailed the question in, so I'll go back through it. It's called triggered emails, and it's under communication. So if you go to communications and you go to email communications, there's actually a couple of tabs here that you can look at. There is the, and let me zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit better. There are the template tab, or there is the template tab, the triggered emails tab, and then the history tab. And triggered emails, what they are is they are automatic emails that can go off based on an action that somebody took on your website, or a trigger that somebody took on your website. Now, you have to come in and set these up, and before you set them up, you have to have an email template of your own created. So let's just say that in all of your galleries, you use visitor sign-in. And if you're not familiar with what visitor sign-in is, do a quick search on our YouTube channel for visitor sign-in, or do a quick search in the support center. Visitor sign-in basically ask for anybody's emails before they go and look at photos. So it's really nice on like wedding galleries where, you know, a lot of people are going to be going in and looking at those photos. You can collect their email addresses and then you can mark it back out to them later. But you can also set up a triggered email to go off when somebody does a visitor sign-in. And what that's going to do is it's going to automatically email somebody whatever email you've elected to be assigned to that trigger. And so let me go back into my templates really quick, because I think I have one specifically for this. Let's see. Did I delete it? Man, I deleted it. Okay, so let's go to new template really quick, and we're going to call this one visitor sign in trigger. All right, and then subject, I'm just going to say, hey, thanks for checking out my photos. And then down here in the body, I'm not going to type anything. I'm not going to put you guys through the misery of watching me type something out. But typically what I would say in an email like this is something like, hey, thanks for checking out my photos. I hope that you enjoyed them. If you have a wedding or a portrait, or you have a wedding or an event coming up that you'd like to have photographed, I'd love to talk to you about your upcoming event. Here's my number. Let's grab coffee sometime. Just shoot me a text or give me a call whenever you're free. That's the kind of email and text that I would put in here. And then after you have that typed up, you're going to click save. And then what you're going to do is you're going to jump back up here to the triggered emails tab. And then you're going to go to that visitor sign-in. Now, keep in mind, there are a couple of different sign-in types. There's sign-in through gallery, sign-in through group, sign-in through collection, and sign-in through event. So depending on what you use, you'll need to be mindful of these different options and make sure that you're setting it up accordingly so it works for what you use. For this one, let's just say I only use galleries, and we're going to set this up on gallery. So what we would do is go to edit right here, and then I'm going to select the email template that I want to use. So let's say that I want to use that visitor sign-in trigger email, the template that I just created. And then I want to set up and say, how many days after they do that triggered action do I want to send them the email? If you want them to get that email instantly, you're going to leave that number set to 0. However, for me, if I do a sign-in on somebody's website and like 2 seconds later I'm getting an email, I'm probably going to ignore that email, block it, and never go back to that site because I don't want to get spammed. I get that enough already. And so what I do for these is I will come in here and I'll just set it up for 3 days later. Right? So 3 days later, they're going to get that email from me that just says, hey, thanks for checking out the photos. You know, if you have an event coming up, here's my number. Let's grab coffee. And hopefully they reach out to me. Now, the cool thing is it doesn't stop there. So you can add 2 more email templates to this. And the really cool thing about that is that you can set these emails to go up to a year apart. And so if you wanted to continuously engage that person for the rest of the year, or maybe the next couple of years, just, maybe once a year sending them an email, or maybe once every 3 months, however you want to set it up, you're just going to click the add button, and then you're going to select another email template. So let's say I've created a whole series of visitor sign-in email templates. Like maybe the first one is just, hey, let's grab coffee, blah, blah, blah. Maybe the next one is something like, hey, you checked out some of my photos a couple of months ago. I just wanted to reach out, see how things were going, see if maybe you had something coming up that you were looking for a photographer for. Would love to hang out, grab some coffee, just some kind of re-engagement. I would select that next template and then say, okay, let's send this one out. Let's do it at, I don't know, you could do it at 90 days if you wanted. You could do it at a year if you wanted. And then after you have that one set up, you can click the add button again and then set up that third email. So if each of these emails were set up a year apart, you could potentially re-engage that person for the next 3 years, once for the next 3 years. So something to think about. Lots of options in here. Again, you have complete control over that. One thing to keep in mind is that when you assign a template to this and you have it set up to be scheduled out, once that person has engaged that trigger, there is not a way for you to go in and stop those emails from going out. It's going to have to play out until that trigger is done. So if that person gets that first email and they're like, hey, remove me from your email list, something to keep in mind, there's not going to be a way to stop the other emails from going out. And you might want to just let them know, hey, no problem, I'm removing you from future emails, but I just want to let you know there are going to be at least 2 more coming that I can't stop. Unfortunately, I really apologize. So just something to think about. And again, you can enable these on lots of actions. So there's account created, there is favorite set created, there is favorite set shared. So you can set up triggered emails for that. So one of the things that you might think about, if you want your clients to share the favorite set with you, then you could come and make an email template that gives them instructions on how to do that, because they don't always figure that part out. But you can make an email template that has instructions for them how to do that, and then you could assign it to the favorite set created, and you could have it set to be 0 so that they get that email giving them instructions. One thing to keep in mind there, every time they create a new favorite set, they're going to get that set of instructions. So that's up to you to decide if that's going to be extremely annoying or not. But you could definitely use it to set it up in here. Also, if you want to send them out a custom thank you email, telling them thank you for placing an order, and you want to send them out a custom thank you email. Maybe you want to give them a coupon or a discount on their next order. You can set up a triggered email to do that for you here. So lots of cool uses, a really cool feature. Definitely go check it out. Make sure that you're playing around with it. It has a lot of great uses. Let's see. Nathan jumped in and said aloha to us. Where'd he go? Nathaniel Cassillon. Did I say it right? Let me know if I said it right. If not, definitely you can make fun of me in the chat. That's fine. Hey guys, also really quick too, when we finish the live stream today, we're going to keep the discussion going about client proofing. There's a link in the description below this video that's going to take you to our to our forums, where we have a discussion. It's going to take you right to the discussion about client proofing, talking about what is your process. Like if you guys have found some ways that work really great for you, we'd love to hear how you're using the favorites feature. If you're using it, why you are, why you aren't, what you like about it. If you have a specific workflow or process that you take your clients through that seem to be working really well, or maybe you're looking for a specific workflow or ideas for a workflow, we're going to keep that discussion going on the forums, and that link below the video is below the video here. And I think Richard's going to throw it out for you guys in the chat here in just a second as well. All right, let me see. Let me make sure I'm not missing any questions here in the chat. Let's see. Kess Photography said, even if you delete the triggered email, it still will go out. As far as I know, Kess, I believe that's the case. Let me see if I can verify. Let me see if I can verify that. But as far as I know, once a trigger has been initiated, I don't believe there's a way to stop it, but I'm going to try and verify that here in just a second. All right, while I'm waiting on that, let me see if I can answer another email question in the next 7 minutes. Guys, we have, 8 minutes left. Make sure that you get your questions in the chat. All right, let's see. Next question here says, should I offer more than one size of digital downloads? Guys, if you missed the live stream a couple of weeks back, we did one all about selling digital products. It takes you through the whole entire process of creating digital products. So I'm not going to dive really deep into creating the digital product, but as far as the question goes, should you offer more than one size? That depends on your clients. That depends on what you're trying to sell. That depends on a lot of different factors. So let me just tell you my philosophy. If I'm working with a senior and I know that the mom might want to buy downloads that she can actually print out and get for prints, but maybe the senior is only after something that they can share on their Facebook, or maybe there's a chance of people taking screenshots, I will offer more than one size of digital download. So I'll offer a full resolution printable version for obviously a much higher cost. But then for people who are just looking for stuff for their social media, maybe you're a Tinder headshot photographer and that's all they need, is they just need something to put on their Tinder profile. Maybe you're photographing for, or you're shooting for a dog event and they just need, nobody's going to get anything printed, they just need stuff to share out. That's where having a low resolution file is going to hopefully kind of encourage people to buy that digital download rather than screenshotting. Of course, you can watermark your images, but offering that smaller size at a cheaper price is at least going to give the client what they need and get some money in your pocket. And so really quick, if you just go to selling and you go to digital products right here, I have a lot created in here, and all of these are full resolution. So most of you guys are pretty familiar with creating full resolution, but if you go to add product, usually what I will do is I will say social media use download as the title. So I'll make it really clear in the title of that digital product, hey, if you're just wanting something to throw up on your Facebook profile, this is the one that you want to buy. And then we'll go down here to license. I'll say unlimited online use, no printing. And then you can go to image dimensions, and I'll change this to go down to that low resolution 1 megapixel, or I might even go to like largest dimension and put in like, I don't know, 900 pixels or 1,000 pixels. But in most cases, I use this low resolution right here. And now when you use that option and your clients place the order and they buy that digital download, Zenfolio is going to handle the downsizing for you. We're going to take that full resolution image that you uploaded and downsize it to meet that 1 megapixel requirement before we email that over to the client. One thing that is really important to keep in mind, if you don't upload full resolution files when you do your initial upload, make sure that your photos meet that 1 megapixel requirement. So make sure that the photos are large enough to meet that 1 megapixel requirement. Because if you don't, then you'll end up swapping the photos out during order approval, or if you don't have order approval turned on, your clients won't actually be able to order that photo because the photos that you have online do not meet the resolution requirements for the product. So making sure that that photo is large enough. I used to know the math on how to figure out how large it needed to be to meet that. I don't have it memorized. I would just do a quick Google search to find out. I'm sure it's on Google. I'm sure some of you guys in chat can probably tell me exactly what dimensions it has to be to meet that 1 megapixel requirement. All right, let me grab some water. We've got about 3 more minutes left. Well, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. All right, let's see here. Let me just grab, see if I can't grab another question really quick. I would like my portfolio to be in slideshow mode when people land on it, rather than having thumbnails of my images. How could I do that? So there's a little trick that you can use to do that. If you want people to go whenever they're on your website, so let's see if we can do this. I might be able to do this quick enough. Whenever they're on your website, all right, and let's just say, let me just add a new link really quick, portfolio, okay? And I'm gonna link this to a group, gallery, or collection, and let's just link it to, oh, now my internet wants to be slow. Let's just link it to the engagement gallery right here. And then I'm going to hit update. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. I switched over to a blue cup and it doesn't work so well with the blue screen behind me. Good call. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have portfolio right here. And let's say that when people click this, we don't want them to see these thumbnails. We want this to go right into the slideshow. Well, what you can do is if you click on slideshow, if you'll notice right here, it actually changes, you can't see it. If you'll notice up here, it actually changes the URL. So let me just go back and show you that again. So right now we're on engagements, but if I click on slideshow, watch the URL up here. I click on slideshow. The URL changes. And if you want your portfolio to load directly to slideshow when somebody clicks on it, you just need to copy this URL. And then you're going to need to go back and you need to edit your site menu so that when somebody clicks on that, rather than linking directly to a gallery, so you're going to go back to this site menu item right here, click the pencil icon. Rather than that linking directly to a gallery, you're going to say link to an external web page. And this way you can paste in that URL, hit update, and then I'm going to publish this so you guys can see it. Publish. And then if I click on portfolio now it's going directly to the slideshow. So you just need to copy that slideshow URL, paste it in your site menu, and it will load directly to that. And then if they want to go back to the gallery, they can click the back to the gallery button. All right, guys, 53 seconds left. So as I was saying earlier, if you guys want to continue this discussion, please join the discussion in the forums. The link's below this video in the description. It's going to you click on it. It's going to take you right to our forums there where you can keep talking about client proofing. Let us know what your workflow is, what works for you, what you like, what you don't like. Maybe get some ideas from some other photographers as well. And then, hey, I want to leave you guys with this. Make sure that you are being a encouragement to other people. Make sure that you're saying good stuff, not only to other people, also yourself. Try to cut out negative self-talk and be a positive person, be a force for positivity in this world. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget Site Review Tuesday coming up next Tuesday, every Tuesday. And then I hope to see you guys all next week. Hey, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button. And if you're watching the recorded version of this and you'd like to learn more about Zenfolio, I recommend watching some of the videos that you should see popping up on your screen.
Just wiggle your